The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, my name is Beverly Bolnick, National Sales Manager at NMP, and I would like to welcome you to National Mortgage Professional Magazine's webinar titled Mortgage Marketing Made Easy, Part 1, the Building Blocks for Successful Marketing, sponsored and presented by TagQuest. I would like to thank all of our webinar attendees for taking the time out of their busy days for this very valuable and informative webinar in our ongoing series of webinars. Today's webinar will be conducted by Caleb Guillory, President of TagQuest, a full-service marketing firm dedicated to assisting mortgage companies with their direct marketing, advertising, and branding needs. TagQuest works with their mortgage clients to overcome the many challenges associated with identifying, acquiring, and retaining purchase and refinance customers. Mr. Guillory brings over 10 years' experience in sales, marketing, and business organization to the table. Mr. Guillory co-founded the first annual Rogue Valley Summit, Customer Acquisition Forum and Education in Medford, Oregon in 2012, and has published a number of marketing, advertising, and technical selling articles. If you have questions during the webinar, please be sure to send them via the Questions tab on your GoToWebinar console, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible at the end of the webinar. Also, we will be sending out the PowerPoint presentation and a link to a recording of the webinar to all webinar registrants tomorrow for future reference. Also, as many of you know, this webinar says Part 1. Part 2 has actually already been recorded, and we will be sending that as an instant webinar as an added bonus to all registrants for this webinar in the same email tomorrow. So all of both links to both recordings, the recording of today and a recording of the Part 2 will be sent to all registrants. Before we get started, I'm going to put a poll question up, and I would like everyone to answer it if they can. So our poll question is, how could a great marketing method affect your business? And the options are, it could completely change my business, it could help, but it's not necessary, or it would have little to no effect on my business. If you could vote now, and then I will share the results with you in a few minutes. Okay, and I am going to close the poll in a few seconds. Okay, I'm going to close it, and I'm going to share the results. 87% of you said it could completely change my business. 10% of you said it could help, but it's not necessary. And 4% of you said it would have little to no effect on my business, which is great because if marketing is going to change your business, you're in the right place. And with that, I will turn it over to Caleb.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for attending our webinar today, Mortgage Marketing Made Easy. Part 1. The mortgage industry is difficult and fiercely competitive. Marketing yourself and marketing your business doesn't exactly have to be. As Beverly said, this is a two-part webinar. So in Part 1 today, we're going to be covering marketing methods, traditional marketing methods versus today's marketing methods. Some marketing fundamentals like planning and tracking that are extremely important and often overlooked, as well as some really easy ways you can grow your business immediately. We'll also be covering what specific marketing techniques are working best in today's mortgage market to acquire more customers, how to keep those customers coming back to you, and producing referrals. Followed by an on-demand webinar that will go into more detail about the fundamental marketing practices in conjunction with today's top marketing techniques to create a long-lasting model for business growth. Lastly, we'll have a Q&A session with Beverly so we can answer some of your questions that you guys have about what we covered today. So let's get to it. Traditional marketing strategies. Traditional marketing strategies versus today's marketing strategies. What is the difference between today's marketing and what was done, say, 10 years ago? First, we'll take a look at today's methods, and then we will go into, first we're going to look at traditional methods, and then we'll go into what's working today. Traditionally, public data lists, credit data, cold calling, direct mail marketing, telemarketing, networking. There's a common thread to all of the traditional marketing campaigns that were used. They're all methods that are geared towards generating your own leads and then converting those leads into sales. Now let's compare that to today's marketing methods. How about saving money, letting someone else take the risk? Today, I'm going to pay for not marketing, but what the marketing produces, leads. Leads equal less risk. Leads. Today it's all about leads. I'm going to buy a lead, not generate my own leads. Now a lead has to be both qualified and interested. We can place most leads into about 3 categories: internet leads, trigger leads, live transfers. You may have heard of some of these things called others, but they can all be traced back to these 3 methods. The difference between traditional methods and the new common methods of today are simple. We used to go out and generate our own leads. Now we pay other people to do it. It's not a recipe for long-term success, but rather it's an easy way to ride the waves, trends that come across the mortgage industry over the years. When the market crashes, as we've all been so lucky to have made it through recently, we find those people that use the traditional marketing methods are the people that make it through, while those people that tend to ride the waves also seem to suffer greatly or go out of business. Now, that's not to say that buying leads don't work. My point is that we need to think about our marketing method and make sure it's a good fit for our own business model. Not simply copy what others are doing and expect it to work the same for us, but really find out what works best for us and pour our resources into that. That's how we create a long-lasting business model for growth. And it all stems from the marketing that we do. Poll question.
All right, yep, we're going to get another poll question up on the screen for everyone to answer. So I'm going to launch it right now. Do you prefer traditional marketing methods or today's marketing methods is the question, and you can choose either today's or traditional. Please vote, and I will leave it up there for a few seconds for you to vote. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a few more seconds, and I'm going to close it up, and I will share the results with you. Okay, I'm closing it up now, and I will share. So, overwhelmingly, 61% of you said you like today's better, and 39% of you said traditional.
Thanks, Beverly. Now, how can you immediately today get more customers? Ways to easily market yourself and stand out amongst your competition. Effective networking. I'm not just talking about meeting with friends and you picking up the bill. Effective networking needs to have a personal touch. Invite your clients out golfing on their birthday. Don't just send them a birthday card. Everyone sends them a birthday card. Invite your clients out for dinner, something fun. Go bowling. Anything that's outside of the office and doesn't end up with you trying to sell them something. Everyone is sending birthday cards. Yours is going to stand out if you personalize it with an invitation. Spend your money where it counts. Spend it on your clients and not on your colleagues. Your realtor probably knows, what, a dozen other lenders? Your clients probably don't know any. Turn your efforts towards your clients, and you'll see the results immediately. Make your clients your champions. Champions are the clients that go out promoting your business for you, bragging about their friends, their family, about what a great experience they had with you and your company. Champions appreciate the relationship that they have with you. They want you to be successful, and they will produce referrals consistently and forever. Think about this. Has your doctor ever asked you to play poker with him at his weekly poker night? Even if you don't play poker, and even if you can't make it, who's going to be the first doctor you think about when you need something? Or you talk with a friend or family member that's sick? you're going to remember the personal effort that doctor put into creating a relationship with you, even if the relationship never happened. You've effectively now become that doctor's champion. Make your own champions, and you will immediately see the results. Next, take a serious look at your marketing effort. Does your marketing effort align with your business goals? Does it reach the people that you most want to do business with? Planning, tracking, and goal setting. First, you've got to have a plan. Decide who your best clients are and focus your marketing efforts towards prospects that are the same. Your best clients are the people that are one of three things. They're the easiest to work with, they're the most profitable, or they produce the most referrals. These are your best clients, and if you're going to spend money on marketing, you should spend it going after these prospects first. Wait until you've proven a specific marketing method to work for you time after time, and then move into markets with this proven method. Questions to ask yourself when planning your marketing are, where do you get most of your business? Is that where your best clients come from? Do they match? If not, how can you get in front of those people, those best clients? Make a marketing plan to get in front of more people that you want to work with, those best clients. Tracking. Track how your plan is working. Having a marketing plan is not enough. Working the plan means tracking it, to see it work, make the change necessary when it doesn't. Goals. Have them, set them, fail at them, and succeed. Everyone's heard of the Harvard Business School studies. Only 3% of their graduates set goals, real goals, written down goals with a planned date of achieving them. You know, those 3 people, those 3%, were earning 10 times more money than those graduates without goals. Now, if that holds true, 97% of your competition isn't effectively setting goals and achieving goals. You will easily beat them if you do. Brian Tracy wrote a book called Goals. It's a great overview of how to effectively set and achieve goals. Alan Hutton-Piller from Leadership Management International has great goal-setting methods you can find at removeexcuses.com. Everyone knows goal setting is important, yet only 3% of us are doing it effectively. This won't cost you a penny, and you'll beat out your competition and increase your revenues immediately. I read in NMP magazine, and I quote, "Growing your business in the mortgage and investment banking industry will mean that you are reaching out to a predominantly well-educated and sophisticated prospect. That means that your marketing must also be sophisticated. It doesn't mean it can't be creative or surprising. It just has to be smart." End quote. The most profitable lenders in the country today are not those who have the best ROI per customer. It's the ones with the best marketing plan. I've spoken with presidents of huge mortgage companies that pay in excess of $2,000 per new customer, and they maintain profitability because they have a plan that is tested and proven to work with their business model. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to work for yours. You'll need to develop your own marketing plan, one that works best for you. High payoff activities. Spending time working on the business. The old 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is spend 80% of your time working in the business, spend the other 20% of your time working on the business. Set some time aside to get out of the daily grind and step back and evaluate what you're doing. Assess if that's the most effective use of your time when compared with your goals. You'll find most of us spend a majority of our day on low payoff activities. Don't just work on your pipeline. Create new ones. Here's a hard fact. Your pipeline, at some point, is going to dry up. Having another pipeline up and running before that happens will eliminate the ups and downs you've experienced in the mortgage industry. Have 5 pipelines or 10 after different loan types. Diversify your portfolio, they always say, enabling you to consistent growth no matter what season it is, what the economy happens to be doing today. We have clients that consistently split test over 14 separate markets. They've got a separate campaign, one for each product that they offer. Every month, month after month, when one stops working, another one picks her up. These companies have consistent results and really good results too. Testing and tracking your marketing and your growth. Have you ever done a marketing campaign or bought leads that didn't work? We all have, right? Why didn't it work? Why did the marketing or the leads not produce sales? Why did the marketing work? What about the campaign didn't work? And not just closing loans, that's not the answer. Every campaign works for someone. What didn't work for you? Get specific about separate components of the campaign. Leads have to be qualified and interested. Were the leads you had qualified? Were they interested? If you did a mail campaign, did you get any calls? You can't say the data was bad on a mail campaign if you didn't get any calls because we don't know. We didn't get any calls. What about live transfers? Were the prospects that you got interested? If the call quality on the transfer was so bad that you can't even hear the person you're talking to, you can't judge the quality of the lead, can you? We can only judge the quality of the call, which in this case was very poor. Here's an interesting statement I heard a little while back. Every type of marketing will, in fact, work for the right person. Now think about that. Think about the campaigns that you've done failed miserably. Someone out there is using that exact same method, and it's working great for them. Why? What specifically about the campaign works for them and not for you? The answer is that you conduct your business differently than they do. Do you sit in the office all day making cold calls? Do you want to? Are you out beating the streets, talking with people to drive new sales? Do you want to be? What specifically about the marketing you've done worked and what didn't? Tracking the marketing that doesn't work is as important as tracking what does. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. Your failures will stop you from making the same mistake twice. And I don't just mean to junk the whole concept here. I mean the specific piece of the campaign that didn't work for you. Here's an example. If you're busy networking outside the office and at appointments all day, you're going to have a terrible experience with direct mail, live transfers, telemarketing, and any other inbound call campaign. Why? Because you're not available to take the calls. If you're not in the office to take the calls, anything that produces inbound calls isn't the right fit for you. That doesn't mean that direct mail or telemarketing simply doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you. Think about the marketing that you've done. Maybe you've tried the wrong lead type. People tell me all the time one type of lead or another just doesn't work. They say, I won't ever do that again. And the ironic part for me is usually soon after I talk to someone else using the same thing, had a great experience, and it worked well for them. So planning your marketing and tracking how it works is important. If you try internet leads and you don't get any closings, don't write off internet leads. Try a different type of internet lead. The trick is finding the right type of marketing that works for you, not just following what everybody else is doing and hoping that it works. Sure, testing and measuring and failing is going to cost you money, but it won't cost you as much as what you're going to make once you find the right fit. It's not only scalable, it produces consistent results that you can depend on. The old saying is give someone a fish and you feed them for a day. Teach them how to fish and you'll feed them for life. You need to learn how to fish. You need to learn what type of marketing is going to work best for you and your business. Start with your goals. How many more loans do you want to write this month, this quarter, this year? Are you licensed in enough states to write that many loans? What type of loans do you prefer to write? FHA or VA or reverse? How big is your market? How many people in the states that you're licensed in fit the criteria to qualify for the loans you want to write? Is there a big enough market to attain your goals? If not, you need to reevaluate your plan. Add more loan products. Get licensed in more states. I talk to a lot of loan officers switching companies these days, so they have a better chance at attaining their goals because the new company has more states they're licensed in or more loan products. Next is your approach. Are you an aggressive salesperson? Have you ever been to sales training at all? Can you successfully make cold calls and produce loans? Would you rather just go out and talk to people and build relationships? Once you decide who you want to target and how you want to contact them, you can pick from a few marketing campaigns that will match your sales style and your business growth goals. Test, measure, fail, succeed. Teach yourself how to fish. Teach yourself how to market effectively through trial and error. That's what marketing is. It's the plan you've created, tested, measured, and proven to work for you. The market's always going to be shifting. Your methods don't have to. Trial and error. That's what great marketers do, and that's what the fastest growing companies in the country are doing right now. Now that we've covered how to plan, design, implement, and effectively market your method, let's look at the top performing campaigns across the nation today. Write these down. Data lists, trigger leads, internet leads, direct mail, and live transfers. One more time, that's data lists, trigger leads, internet leads, direct mail, and live transfers. Beverly, can we have another poll question?
Absolutely. So we're going to put up which of these marketing methods have you used the most? And those options again are data lists, trigger leads, internet leads, direct mail, and live transfers. Okay, I'm going to give you a few more seconds to vote, and then we're going to close up the poll, and we will review the results. Okay, I'm going to close it up right now, and I'm going to share the results with you. 17% of you said data lists, 3% said trigger leads, 38% said internet leads, 27% said direct mail, and 15% said live transfers. So it's pretty spread out.
And very telling. Thanks, Beverly. Internet leads are overwhelmingly the #1 source that people use in today's market. Remember we talked about today versus traditional marketing? Today everybody wants to buy a lead. Traditional marketing means we go out and generate our own leads, and we close those people into sales. These methods on your screen now are what's fueling the mortgage industry today. These are what the biggest, best, and fastest growing companies in the nation are using. And these campaigns are working the best right now, I mean today. I have the pleasure of talking with mortgage lenders all over the country every day, and these campaigns are the tried and true methods of today's top performers. Now let's take a look at each one of these marketing campaigns, and more importantly, why they worked and why they didn't. Data lists. Boring, right? Nobody likes data. Cold calling? That's for the birds. Data is the backbone of every successful marketing product on the planet. No data means no marketing, no leads, no mail, no calls, no business. Data is used for all calling, direct mail, and all lead generation, including internet leads. There are hundreds of data files available, from who likes to golf to who qualifies for a HARP refinance by credit score, mortgage open date, LTV, whether loan serviced by Freddie or Fannie. If you've had a bad experience with one particular data file, I highly recommend you go try another one, because you won't get far with any marketing effort without the right data. People use data to make cold calls, to telemarket. They use it for direct mail. It's also used to target audiences online when generating internet leads. If you need an inexpensive way to grow your business, you won't find anything that costs less than buying a targeted data list, sitting down, and calling through it. Then there's credit data. Credit bureau data isn't readily available anymore. You have to be vetted by each bureau before they'll allow you to buy the data, and you'll need to get set up with a third-party processor before you can access it, like a marketing company. It's a safety net they put in place So the person ordering the data cannot be the same as the person using the data. It's a way they've found to limit fraudulent data purchases. We're in the middle of a major shift with the data world. Online files are beginning to be mixed with traditional offline files, producing hybrids that are able to target demographics like we've never been able to do before. There's algorithms that are being designed to follow trends and predict future trends. Today, we can get lists of people who are shopping for a home or trying to refinance. Tomorrow, we'll be able to reach out to people before they're shopping for a home. So we're at the top of their mind when that moment comes that they decide to buy. Merging data files to create new hybrid files is becoming commonplace. Model data files are proving to be as accurate or even more accurate than credit data, and they don't have the ever-watching eye of the CFPB. New modeled files are safe, effective way for you to target and qualify the loan products you offer. Staying away from credit data will alleviate a major compliance risk from your marketing campaign. The data of today is bringing back traditional marketing campaigns like direct mail and telemarketing, producing better results than we've seen in years. Direct mail is responding higher today than it was 3 years ago. The new data files have a lot to do with that. Data works for everyone. If you're not familiar with the select filters or the particular file you're using, you're not sure which data file to use, get some input from your colleagues or from your marketing company. Using the wrong file, more importantly the wrong filters, is the only reason that data won't work. And the number one cause of that is lack of information about what's available to you. We'll move on to internet leads. Why do they work? Internet leads work because someone went online and asked to be contacted, right? You order the lead by specific criteria that matches the loan product that you sell. Buyer meets seller. This is why they work and should be a bulletproof system. Yet still I hear every day from people that have used internet leads and they don't close any loans. Why? Because people don't always know what their credit score is or their current loan amount or what income they claimed in their taxes last year. Because lead publishers get paid per lead and want to produce more leads. So they'll incentivize the consumers in order to get them to fill out the form. And because anyone in the world can produce and sell internet leads, there is no accountability when the lead forms are filled with inaccurate information, or if they're even interested in your product at all. They could be shopping for a motorcycle and be sold to you as a mortgage lead. These are all valid reasons why internet leads won't work. Internet leads will work if you find the right type of lead for you. There are dozens of different types of internet leads for the mortgage industry. There's 3 key indicators to think about before you purchase internet leads for yourself. First, delivery, then exclusivity, then quality. First, we'll take a look at delivery. Real-time, batch delivered, and aged. A real-time lead delivery is when it's sent to you immediately when the person clicks the submit button online. Batch delivered are leads that sent in a block of leads, usually at the beginning or the end of each day to be called. And then there's aged leads. Aged internet leads are used for telemarketing campaigns or direct mail campaigns. With the new TCPA regulations, an opt-in must be obtained from each person being called by all dialing machines. This has massively changed the internet lead industry. Leads are worth more now aged than they used to be. If you're using a power dialer or other dialing system, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The use of dialing machines is important for telemarketing to work. Now people are using aged internet leads to dial out to. If you've been buying internet leads lately, you've probably noticed that those prospects are getting re-engaged after about 30 days or so, right? That's because they're being bought as aged internet leads and dialed through in massive quantities. Exclusivity. How many times is a lead sold? Almost completely gone from the internet lead world is a totally exclusive lead. It's almost a thing of the past. You can still find them, but you'll have to pay a pretty penny for them. There's too much value in selling them as aged leads to only sell them to one customer. I've seen internet leads sell for over $150 each in some markets. You can buy internet leads exclusively, meaning only you get them. at least for the first 30 days only you get them. If you lack strong sales skills, it might be more cost effective for you to buy exclusive internet leads because you won't have to compete for the business. You can also get them delivered semi-exclusively. Up to 4 other people can buy the same lead. This is a more cost-effective approach, but you could be competing with up to 3 others for the same client. These are the most common internet leads sold today. Lastly is a shared internet lead. These are sold as many times as they can be. These are typically the real-time leads that are $10 or less. You may be the only person calling, but chances are you're one of at least a dozen people that get the lead and call it. Some companies sell their leads 20 times. It's extremely important to be the first or the last person to call these types of internet leads. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting lost in the herd. If you're a strong salesperson and you like to make outbound phone calls, this is one of the most cost-effective approaches for you. Quality. How are the leads generated? If the consumer goes online shopping for a pair of shoes and ends up being sold as an internet lead, it's probably not a very high quality lead. However, if the consumer goes onto Google and types in a search for FHA mortgage refinance, you're probably going to sell that person a streamlined FHA, and it'll probably close real quick. Co-registration is a common practice used to generate multiple lead types from one form submission. Let me explain that just a little bit further. A person goes online shopping for an auto loan. They put in their contact information, and before they click submit, they're asked if they would also be interested in refinancing their home. If they check that box, they will be sold as a mortgage lead and as an auto lead. The internet lead company makes their money on the auto lead side, so even if they sell the lead for $3, it's pure profit, so they'll gladly sell it to you. These are usually sold multiple times and then sold again as aged leads, and then again as opt-in data. Let's take it one step even further. Use that same person shopping for a car. They put their contact information in, only this time it's mandatory that they check one of 2 boxes. The statement says something like, would you be more interested in refinancing your home or consolidating your debt? Then the lead is sold first as an auto lead because that's what the person was actually interested in. And then it's sold as either a mortgage lead or a debt lead, depending on which they chose. These leads are not interested in your products at all, yet they're sold over and over every day. The key to internet leads is knowing what you're buying so you can try something else if that lead type doesn't work for you. Bouncing around from one company to another aimlessly, hoping to find that one perfect lead, will usually leave you out a bunch of money and no closings to show for it. Internet leads work very well for most people. It's just really important that you find the right type of lead for you. When you do, you'll have a long-lasting, scalable lead source. Internet leads work if you work them. If you're busy and you need to set time aside to make outbound phone calls, internet leads might be a good solution for you. Make sure you find the right type of lead that matches your business model based on delivery, exclusivity, and quality, or how the lead was generated. Live transfers. These can show up in a number of ways. The result is you pay for a live person that's on the phone and theoretically wants to talk to you about your loan products. The method behind this lead is simple. Find someone who's both qualified for the loan products you offer and interested in the loan products that you offer, and then have that person transferred to you via telephone. So a live transfer must be both qualified and interested before you ever talk to them. Sounds easy enough, right? Not always. Remember, each lead product works for the right person, not for every person. There is no one-size-fits-all in marketing. Live transfers are the biggest buzzword in the industry this year. They're easy to buy and usually produce reasonable results. They work because you're paying for a call. No matter how much effort is required to produce that call, you get a predetermined amount of calls. They work because you can select a reasonable set of criteria so the leads are reasonably qualified when you talk to them. They work because someone else has already spoken to them and verified that they want to talk to you about the loan products that you offer. These are all good reasons why live transfer leads work so well. Live transfers don't work if you only have 1 or 2 people to answer the phone. If you get 2 or 3 calls coming in at the same time, you won't be able to handle them, and ultimately you will waste a lot of leads. Compared to traditional marketing methods, it should be a lot less risky too, right? You're only paying per call. The answer to that is inarguably no. Traditional methods work because they're based on consumer metrics and real-world scenarios. Let me explain. People struggling to pay their mortgage are going to be more receptive to hearing offers about how to lower their payments, refinance their home, sell their home, while people that have equity in their home will be more responsive to a cash-out offer. The downside of live transfer leads is that you're going to get all of these calls because you don't have control over the script, you don't have control over the data that's being used, leaving the results of the campaign okay. But usually your results aren't going to be exceptional. Exceptional marketing results come from planning, tracking, testing and measuring, and failing and succeeding. Going through this process takes time and resources. We have our whole careers to figure it out. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, whatever your schedule, I'm sure you're working a lot. That leaves a lot of time for you to learn how to fish. Learn how to fish, and you'll never go hungry again. Learn how to effectively market yourself and your business, and you'll be on a constant path of growth to levels you've never reached before. Let's recap. We talked about traditional marketing methods, finding your demographic, using your sales approach to test the best method of contacting prospects, generating leads that you close. Today's marketing techniques are all about leads, paying for prospects after they're qualified and interested. You'll pay a premium for someone else to take the risk, and ultimately you won't learn how to market yourself. But it is a way to ride the trends, and I know plenty of people that have made a career out of riding those trends. Traditional marketing methods like direct mail are coming back in a big way this year. Response rates are higher than we've seen in over 3 years. There will be more information about direct mail in the second part of this webinar. It's on demand. Planning your growth and setting goals is a proven method that will allow you to dominate your competition. Planning your marketing and tracking the results will allow you to learn how to best market yourself and your business for long-term growth that you can count on. Easy ways to market yourself include reaching out to clients in your network, and not just your industry partners. Invite your client golfing from their birthday. Even if they decline, they'll send more referrals to you because they'll feel you have a personal relationship with them. Get them to be your champion. The best performing campaigns right now are data lists, trigger leads, internet leads, direct mail, and live transfers, in no specific order. We just covered today data list, internet leads, and live transfers. In part 2 of the webinar that you'll be able to download, James Cullens will discuss in depth direct mail, why it's working so well right now, trigger leads, and then he's going to talk about a bold new marketing technique called Mortgage Insights. It gives you insight into your clients' lives and staying in front of them at key points in their lives when your services are needed most. There's ways he'll give you to keep your current clients coming back year after year. You'll learn how to find out when your past clients are back in the market. When are they planning to move? Shopping for a second home. Life events like having a baby, getting married, planning to move. These are the perfect times for you to be in front of them. You can download the webinars on NMP's website and on TagQuest's website. Beverly's going to email them to everybody after. Beverly, can we move into questions and answers?
Absolutely. Yeah, so as Caleb said, I'm going to be sending over a link for the recording of today's webinar, as well as the pre-recorded on-demand webinar that we have with James. And I'm also going to be sending a PDF of the PowerPoint that we have from today as well, so you can have a copy of that to refer to. We have a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can. We're going to start off with Judy from Connecticut. She asked, what's a realistic growth projection for a 6-month period?
Hey, Judy. I always say maximum capacity. How many loans can you actually process per month? You could triple your production next month if you can handle the volume and getting all the loans processed. I use acquisition cost, what amount you can afford to spend per customer. National average right now per closed new customer is hovering around $900 for the mortgage industry. Multiply that by the number of new clients you want per month. There's your budget. If that's more money than you have, and we can ramp up to it, or you can ramp up to it.
Okay, great. Our next question is from Mike from Florida. How do I find specific reasons a campaign didn't work instead of writing it off as just not for me?
Good question, Mike. That usually comes down to tracking, and not just tracking on a whole. I mean tracking specific methods, specific metrics. What kind of leads did you get? How many leads did you get? If you did direct mail, that would mean how many calls did you get? Of those calls that came in, how many of them were interested? Of those that were interested, how many applications did you take? From the applications you took, how many of them closed? I know, sounds typical, right? But you can go back and look at these metrics later, and you can see where the largest number of leads fell off. That's the area where you need to focus. That's the specific part of the campaign that didn't work for you. Then you can dive in even further and find a solution to that problem before trying it again.
Okay, our next question is from James from Illinois. Are trigger leads really still effective?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, James. Trigger leads are bought and sold less today than I've ever seen. Thanks to the new compliance laws, CFPB, they aren't being sold dozens of times by the same company anymore. Each lead is bought and sold to one specific lender, so they're closing higher than they've ever closed before. There's also ways of tracking your past clients and getting notified when they have their credit pulled. Those particular leads have the highest ROI I've seen on any marketing campaign ever.
Awesome. All right. Next question is from Christina from Michigan. It's kind of related to that question. How do I stop other people from buying my customers' info as trigger leads when I pull credit?
Christina, I get asked that all the time. Well, the short answer is you can't. James is going to talk more about triggers in part 2 of the webinar, but the credit bureau is going to sell the information as many times as they can. You can educate your clients about what's going to happen, what might happen after, and prepare them for it. I've heard from a lot of clients of ours that they have no problems with triggers after talking to their clients and just letting them know about the situation and what may happen to them.
All right. Our next question is from Amy from New York. What should I track to find out why internet leads didn't work for me?
Track the type of lead, the level of interest, your close ratio. Track the type of lead that you're buying, how interested they are, how many of them did you close. Some people have amazing close ratios from campaigns they thought were a total bust just because they never tracked the results. Usually the type of lead is the reason the internet leads work or don't work for you.
Okay. Next question is from Jason from North Carolina. How do I stay on top of current marketing trends that are working best?
That's easy, Jason. National Mortgage Magazine and tagquest.com. Everyone loves to brag about what works. So when you stay on top of social media, any marketing company publication like NMP, all the Facebook pages and social media that you have, everybody loves bragging about what's working. Just take a look out there. It's really easy information to find.
This is why we love you, Caleb. You like to plug us on our corner. All right, we have time for one more question. So this question is from Jeff from California. I've heard of insights before. How do I get notified when my clients are back in the market?
It's actually pretty simple. It can happen in several ways. It usually happens by email. James is going to discuss that further in part 2, so I'm going to let him take care of that on that webinar. But he does go into delivery and methods and exactly how that works.
Okay, great. So make sure that you check your email tomorrow. I will have the link for today's webinar, the recording of today's webinar, and the recording of the instant webinar by James Collins from TagQuest for the part 2 of this webinar. And with that being said, I would like to thank you, Caleb, for such a great informative webinar as usual, and thank TagQuest for sponsoring the webinar, and also, of course, our attendees for taking time out of their day to view the webinar. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you on the next webinar.